What I can tell you is my name is Barbara Bernardino, and I am facilitating for the Beach to Bay Central Council of Civic Associations, representing the Barrier Island from Point Lookout to East Atlantic Beach. We do not have our hospital. As Dr. Gruber says, and I agree, the hospital belonged to the community, and it was taken away from the community without anybody asking us. We have no hospital. We are in danger. It is vulnerable. Our children are in danger. Our seniors are in danger. Each and every one of us are in danger. We were very fortunate this past summer that we had no major tragedy. Do we really want to push that envelope? And so, without community action, we will be left to whatever other people want to do. Unless we take control in some way, unless we voice as one community and we are united in what we're saying, it's going to be a problem. We don't know what we're going to get. So the city council, our city manager has posted on the webpage, this is what I can tell you, that they are in support of emergency services and 24-hour services. Our senator has said that he is in support of 24-hour services on this barrier island. However, the visibility of our elected officials to actually be here with the community and speak with us, speak to the community and make that statement has been fairly naught. Businesses are opening, ribbons get cut, they're there. The boardwalk is open, our beautiful boardwalk, and they're there. It's wonderful. However, when it comes to the hospital, where are you? Nobody's around, nobody's here. Nobody is informing this community about what's going on, but more importantly, nobody is listening to what the community wants and needs. And so we are at a threshold, and we have a small window of time to make it happen, to see and visualize what it is we want and need here. And who is in a position to tell us what we want and need here? Well, our doctors and our first responders. And they're all saying, we're a barrier island, duh. We are a geographic location that is unique. We don't need to be compared with the rest of the state. We need to look at our state, our condition. We need to look at our barrier island, a recreational water community, an island that has 40 to 50,000 residents who live here. The advertising, Billy Crystal and all the advertising to bring people here, wonderful, love it. People coming in droves to Long Beach. That only increases our risk that much more. We need to support our first responders who are there to save lives. They're trying to do the right thing in a situation that is not supportive of what they're trying to do. And so the community needs to be the backbone to support what needs to be done. And so this meeting is really a call to activism. We need to bombard the senator with phone calls and our city council with phone calls. We have these cards, so we made it as easy as possible for you to do so. We need you to reach out to your own networks and get the community engaged and involved and outraged, actually, okay? So we have all of that, but we also have people who want to speak to this issue, and so why don't we do some of that?
One, Long Beach Hospital was open and was functioning until Sandy produced a significant amount of damage. The hospital then attempted to rebuild and substantially rebuilt a significant amount of the hospital, but the state of New York refused to permit the hospital to reopen. Background, the hospital had been losing money and had probably been working with some degree of inefficiency since the turn of the 21st century. It's been losing about $2 million to $4 million a year, from what I can tell from investigating on the net, which comes out to about 1.75% to 2% of their total budget. The state has a vendetta against hospitals that are losing money. As you've read in the papers, other hospitals have been closed, St. Vincent's downtown, etc. But we are peculiar in that we're an island. We are isolated. There are 3 exits off this island. Out of those 3 exits, only one can really be utilized to reach a hospital, and that one can be blocked by flooding on Austin Boulevard, as we all know, by the bridge being stuck in the upright position, as has happened before, and by summertime traffic, which can block an ambulance for a significant period of time. On an apocryphal basis, we know that there have been several deaths already because of delays in ambulance transfer. So what's going on? Right now, all of the hospital rights are being bargained away and sold or given to South Nassau with the encouragement of the state of New York. The people who live on this island have not been consulted, and although the hospital is legally a private entity, it is morally the property of the people of this island. We have supported it with our presence, with our dollars, and now it is being taken away without our consent. Seems to me one definition of taking something away without your consent is stealing. And that's exactly what the state is doing. And our only recourse at this time, I think, and I'm certainly open to criticism on this, is political. We've got to put pressure on the people in the state of New York who make decisions. And the way you put pressure on politicians is through votes, and the way you develop a voting bloc is by bringing the anger, really, of the people of this island to the attention of the politicians. And that's really where I think we have to go. Basically, we are the victims of an illegal taking of property without any representation or input. There has been essentially no transparency in this and no representation. I'm sorry, go.
How do you bring the anger to the politicians who said at the meeting signatures are useless? So what else?
No, I didn't say signatures are useless, but there has to be constant pressure. Yes, signatures are useful. We had 15,000 in a single petition. We have to get more. We also should have more community outreach. If we could develop well-attended meetings, obviously at a more convenient time than this, because most people are working at this time, that would be helpful. It's not a single effort. There has to be a constant pressure on them right through from now until either the ball hits us and we lose the hospital for good, or until election day.
I heard it was June. By June, it will be over.
We don't know that.
There's a lot of rumors.
There's a lot of legal matters that have to be taken care of, transfers of property, bankruptcy proceedings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So June might be a valid date. It might not. I think June is a guess. And I would think that if we can put pressure on the politicians, then that June date will become invalid. All it would take, really, would be pressure from the State Department of Health. Now, the State Department of Health is an arm of the state government.
On Tuesday, we were at our Lido North Civic meeting
discussing the hospital, and it didn't strike a chord with me. I'm pretty young, pretty healthy, and I said something to the effect of, I'd rather take my chances at LIJ than the way Long Beach Hospital was. Friday night, I fell down a flight of stairs at home, and I had a shoulder injury in college where it dislocated my shoulder, dislocated it again. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that.
It hurts?
Yeah, I still can't talk, screaming in pain. It was at 8:30, and fortunately, my wife drove me to something or another MD on the West End.
Right,
Yeah, they were great. And
urgent care.
the lady put it back into the socket, and for about 20, 25 minutes, it was absolutely excruciating pain. Great job. They're very professional. But then it hit me. What if it was after 9 o'clock? Because they close at 9. Then it was raining, and we would have tried to get us out Nassau. A dislocated shoulder. I'm mostly better 3 days later. Dislocated shoulder heals based on how long it's dislocated. The longer it's dislocated, the longer the healing process. I've sneezed when it goes out and comes back in 20 seconds later. It's a half hour later, it's fine. It was dislocated for about 25 minutes. It was sore for 3 days. Another hour, it would have been several weeks. So my first point is that I don't want to over dramatize. It's not always life and death, save a life. That's very dramatic, and that is true. But there's also other maybe less severe things like what happened to me that's a reason to have some kind of hospital emergency care. So I think this is great. And I said Tuesday, I'm going to be very blunt, we talked about how do you reach people. Maybe you hand out pamphlets where people are, like Long Island Railroad. For most people, that's a good idea. I wouldn't commit to that. I'd be overextending myself. But drafting an email telling my story and then copying and paste it and making a bunch of phone calls is a half hour. So this is something that I can do.
Okay.
And that's why this is great. So thank you. Let's keep it going.
Thank you,
Okay.
Evan. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.